The Bible is a living word that reads us as we read it. It's a person, a voice that proves that time is not linear, as one sentence can confirm the past, guide the present, and declare the future. You are here. I am here. He is here. We are here. Right now, in the tomorrow of yesterday and in the yesterday of tomorrow, I thank you for joining today. So we're back. Thank you so much for joining once again. In our last episode, we talked about how the Israelites had enough. They were fed up with the corruption of Eli's sons in the tabernacle, and they were fed up with the corruption of Samuel's sons in the courts. So, being fed up with corruption from all of these different angles, the Israelites made a big request of Samuel, one that Samuel was highly disappointed with, and he had to go consult the Lord. The Israelites requested a king. When Samuel took this request to the Lord let him know that the Israelites were not rejecting Samuel, but that the Israelites were rejecting the Lord himself. The Lord made a statement that led us into another discussion. The people have rejected me as their king. They no longer want me as their king. That opened the conversation a little bit for us to talk more about the kingdom and how the kingdom is a theme that is woven throughout the Bible. We talked about 4 basic components that exist in a kingdom. 1, citizens. 2, a constitution or law. 3, territory. And 4, a king. Up to this point, the Lord was serving in the capacity of the king of the people of Israel. Now, however, because the Israelites are fed up with the corruption of those who are put in positions to help them, and also because the Israelites are facing opposition from this Ammonite king, Nahash, the Israelites are like, we need to do something differently because what we've been doing hasn't been working. So the Lord let Samuel know the people can have the king that they asked for. Absolutely. They want to be like other nations. Let them be like other nations, but make sure that they are fully aware of what it is that they're signing up for. Tell them how things are going to change for them when they have a king in place. Samuel went to the Israelites and he let them know, if you request a king, life is not just going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be fluffy for you all the time. The king is going to enlist your boys. So your sons are going to be serving in his army as soldiers. They are going to be making his weaponry. Your land will become the king's land. He will take of your livestock and give it to who he pleases. In addition to that, he will take your daughters and he will force your daughters to cook and bake for him, and he will have them make perfumes for him and just be around to be beautiful. Things are not going to be dictated by you just because you have a king. You're looking around to your left and your right. You're looking around at all of these other nations and you think that they have it all good. You think that the grass is actually greener on the other side, but that is not the case. This is really not what you want. It's not what you want. The people of Israel refused to listen to Samuel's warning. They were like, yo, we said what we said. We know what we want. Give us a king. Samuel took their answer back to the Lord, and the Lord said, all right, bet, let's do it. Meanwhile, there's this guy named Kish. Kish is from the tribe of Benjamin. Kish had it going on. Very wealthy man, very influential man. He had a son, and his son was fine. He was the finest man in all of Israel. Like, real talk, he was tall, dark, and handsome. Read your word. It says it in your Bible. Translate it differently, but essentially that's what it says. He stood a head and shoulders taller than anyone else in Israel, and he was good looking. So Kish's son, Saul, was minding his business one day, and Kish went to him and he said, son, some of my donkeys got away. I need you to grab a servant and I need you to go find them. Now, Saul was like, all right, Pops. So he grabbed a servant. He's like, yo, my dad's donkeys got away. We got to go look for them. So grab your things. Let's get on the road. The servant, of course, was agreeable. So they went looking for these donkeys. Now, I find it very interesting that the destiny that Saul is about to enter into is as a result of these donkeys deciding to just randomly go on an adventure. We just recently talked about how the Lord used two mama cows to transport the Ark of the Covenant back into the possession of the Israelites. And now we see how the Lord is also using donkeys to go on a random road trip that will lead Saul into a divine appointment that he didn't even know was coming. So Saul and his servant, they're dragging their feet at this point because they've been searching high and low for these donkeys, and they are nowhere to be found. They looked everywhere. It got to the point where Saul said to his servant, listen, we need to go back home because by this time, Pops is probably more worried about us than he is about those daggum donkeys. Let's just go back. The servant said, I know you're ready to go home. We've been out here for a while now, ate all our food, stomach growling, toes hurt. But I have an idea. There's this man of God. They call him a seer, and everything that he says comes true. I think he lives around here somewhere. We might as well just go talk to him and see if he can point us in the right direction. It's always like, okay, cool, I'm down for that, but we don't have anything to give him. Like, nothing. The servant said, I just so happen to have this one silver coin. We could give this to the man of God, and that could be an offering to him. Saul was willing to give it a shot and see if he could get some direction. So as they were climbing the hill, they ran into some women who were drawing water. Saul and his servant went and asked them, have y'all seen the seer today? What's the latest on him? They're like, oh, yeah, he's here. He's right up there. Just follow this road and you'll find him. Yeah, just keep on that road right over there. They followed the road and they ended up passing through some gates and ran right into Samuel. It just so happens that the Lord also spoke to Samuel the day before and told him, about this time tomorrow, I'm going to send a man from Benjamin, and that is the man that I want you to anoint to be king. Let me run that back for you. Saul is walking around looking for some donkeys. He's searching for the donkeys, can't find them anywhere. And so his servant decided, let's go talk to the man of God because the man of God may be able to give us some direction as to where the donkeys are. On their way to look for the man of God, they ran into the man of God. And it just so happened that the day before, the Lord spoke to the man of God, Samuel, and told him, this time tomorrow, you're going to run into this man from Benjamin. And that is the man that I want you to anoint to be the king of Israel. Divine appointment. Do you hear me? This is a divine appointment and such a testament to the fact that the Lord can shift your entire trajectory in one day while you're minding your business doing the most practical, basic thing. You could be walking around looking for your keys and the Lord can change your life. You can walk into your purpose looking for a loaf of bread or looking for the laundry detergent aisle. It's something as random and insignificant as that Saul is doing right now when he runs into Samuel. So Saul approaches Samuel and he asks him, we looking for the seer? Do you know where he is? Can you tell us where his house is? And Samuel told him, he's like, yeah, I am the seer. I can picture him pointing to some structure in the distance. He said, yeah, just go on up there. We'll eat together. And in the morning, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that you want to know. And then I'll let you go on about your business. But don't worry about the donkeys that you lost because they've already been found. Pause, rewind. Samuel told Saul, I'm going to tell you what it is that you want to know But don't worry about the donkeys because they've already been found. When I read that, I pondered because it really made me want to know what was the internal dialogue of Saul. For the man of God to say, I'm going to tell you what it is that you want to know. Up to this point, we thought that what Saul wanted to know was where were the donkeys. It made me wonder if Saul may have had some questions like you and I may have had before. Lord, why am I here? What do you want from me? What do you desire to do with my life? How will you use me? And now Saul is in the presence of the man of God who knows. Samuel told Saul that he and his family were the focus of Israel's hopes. And Saul, I imagine he kind of backed up a little bit like, whoa, 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 hold up. The focus of all of Israel's hopes. I'm only from the tribe of Benjamin. That's the smallest tribe in Israel, and my family is the least important of that tribe. What do you mean? Like, why are you talking to me like this? The focus of Israel's hopes. I don't know. Samuel essentially shrugged it off like, yeah, we'll get into it later. And he ushered Saul and his servant into the hall where they could go and eat. And he honored them as the guest of honor and fed them well. And not only did Saul get to eat well, but his servant got to eat well, which goes to show that serving people and being in positions where you are an assistant or where you are a helper, where you aren't necessarily the center of attention, can still open up opportunities for you to be in places that you wouldn't otherwise be. The servant was sitting amongst dignitaries. He was sitting amongst royalty. He was sitting at the table with the man that God was going to have Samuel anoint as the king, simply because of the position he found himself in as a servant. Let that be an encouragement to you. So moving on, Saul and his servant ate well, and then they slept well. They got up early the next morning to get back on the road home. And when they reached the edge of town, Samuel pulls Saul aside and he's like, yep, send your servant ahead. I got some things I want to talk to you about. After Saul sent his servant away, Samuel told Saul, I have a special message for you from the Lord. Samuel took a flask of olive oil and he started pouring it over Saul's head. And then he told him, I'm not trying to oil your scalp, bro. I'm doing this because the Lord has appointed you to be the ruler over Israel. And when you leave me today, you're going to run into some men, and the men are going to tell you that your donkeys were found and that your father is now worried about you. When you get to the oak tree, you're going to run into 3 men, and the men are going to offer you some bread and you're going to accept it. And then from there, you're going to run into a band of prophets that are going to be worshiping the Lord. And at that time, the Spirit of the Lord is going to come powerfully upon you, and you're going to start prophesying, and you're going to be changed into a completely different person. I imagine that Saul is really looking at Samuel like, what are you talking about? He's got oil dripping down his forehead and face. He's shiny and slippery. And he's like, what? But Samuel just anointed his head. He told him that God has appointed him as the ruler of the people. And then he ran down all of these different events that were going to take place. And then he said, after all these signs take place, do what must be done and know that God is with you. And then from there, I need you to go to Gilgal. I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to offer some sacrifices and some burnt offerings and peace offerings and do everything on my end as a priest. But you must wait for me. Wait 7 days until I arrive and give you further instructions. I cannot imagine at this point how Saul must have been feeling. Like, wait a minute. wait. Of all the tribes of Israel, you pick the tribe of Benjamin. Of all the families, you pick mine and then choose me. The Lord chose me to be the ruler of Israel. Are you serious? Samuel was serious. Saul, he's pondering upon all of these things that Samuel just told him. And he turns to leave. And when he turned to leave, the Lord gave him a new heart. And everything that Samuel said was going to happen happened. When Saul and his servant made it to where the prophets were, and then the Spirit fell upon Saul and he started prophesying. When those who actually knew Saul heard that he prophesied, they mocked him, they teased him, like, how did the son of Kish become a prophet? Oh, so just anybody can be a prophet now. Okay, cool. Sign me up. Let me go ahead and get my prophet membership too. When Saul finished prophesying, it said that the Lord gave him a new heart. And the Spirit of the Lord fell upon him. Now he's prophesying. He's going to the place of worship. He's just been anointed to be the ruler of the people. His life has shifted and changed. He went into the place of worship. His uncle sees him in the place of worship and is like, yo, where you been? We've been looking for you. Saul told his uncle, yeah, we were out looking for the donkeys. My pops, he lost some of the donkeys. They went roaming and stuff. So we just went to go look for them and we couldn't find them. So we went to see Samuel, the seer, to ask him if he could give us some direction as to where the donkeys were. But he told us that they had already been found. So yeah, that's where we've been. We just been looking for the donkey. Saul didn't bring up at all that he was appointed to be the ruler of the people. He kind of left that detail out. Later on, Samuel gathered all of the people of Israel at Mizpah, and he shared with them what the Lord has done for them. Hey, the Lord has rescued you from Egypt. When you were in oppression, he took you out of oppression. You were in misery and distress, and he saved you, and you've rejected him by asking for a king instead. So today, present yourselves before the Lord by tribes and clans. So they did. All of the tribes and clans got organized. And then the tribe of Benjamin was chosen by lot. So they would cast lots, which was a method that the Lord would use with his people. And it was a form of communication when it was a matter of multiple selections. It was one of the ways that they would determine a specific. So they had all of these different tribes lined up. And then the lot fell on the tribe of Benjamin, and then it just kept narrowing down until it was very clear that Saul, the son of Kish, was selected. He was the one that was chosen from amongst them. When they looked around to find Saul, cheer for him, celebrate him, no one could find him. They had to ask the Lord, we understand you just selected Saul, but where is he? And the Lord told them he's hiding amongst the baggage. Saul was literally hiding from his calling, and he was hiding in the luggage. This fine man who is a head and shoulders taller than everybody else is hiding amongst the baggage because he understood that the calling was larger than he was. And it's so interesting to me because I imagine that there were a lot of people who would have been more than willing to be selected to be king. And here we see that Saul was hiding from it. He was running from it. He's like, nope, I'm good. I don't have to have this. I didn't choose this. And he didn't. That's something to keep in mind. Saul did not choose to be king. The Lord selected him to be king and ruler over the Israelites. When they found him, Samuel presented him and said to the people, "This is the man that the Lord has chosen as your king. No one else in all of Israel is like him." And the people were excited and they celebrated, "Long live the king! Long live the king!" Samuel told all the people the rights and duties of the king. He posted it before the Lord. It was written on a scroll so everyone knew the rights and the duties of the king. And then Samuel sent everyone home. Saul returns home. The Lord touched the hearts of a group of men, and the men followed Saul home. There was also a group of thugs who just resented the fact that Saul was king. Like, this guy's gonna save us? Oh, he's gonna lead us. Whatever, man. Like, they refused to take him gifts, they were disrespectful, they were bitter and ugly toward him, and Saul ignored them and went on about his business, which is really good practice. We'll stop here for now and get into what it looked like for Saul to step into his role as king, so to speak, as ruler of the people. We'll get into that next episode if the Lord blesses me to record another one. I thank you so much for your support and your love. It really means a lot to me. And I look forward to next time. Until then, bye for now.